Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast, where I'm joined by the founder of the Skills Refinement Group, AAU head coach extraordinaire, and Oakland collegiate legend. Please welcome O'Neal Kamaka to the show. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you? How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm maintaining, man. I'm doing good. Doing good, man. Just taking in these playoffs right now.
Yes.
Yes. Over my head is a massive blowout, so it's not even worth discussing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
With Boston and Miami, but last I checked,
Boston is like no long talking game. You guys got one game. You felt nice. You guys are done.
Yeah, just get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. It's funny how Miami. I think people around the city, especially when you talk to people in Miami, they got used to this whole, just get into the playoffs and then we'll make it up.
Yeah.
And I think it bit them in the ass now, right? Because
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that. You can't do that every year, right?
Nope.
Last year was last year. You can't do that every year.
No, you can't. And Jimmy Butler is gone, right? So, I love the playoffs. To me, that's the real season. The playoffs is the real season. Guys always talk and pretend, and act like they're the ish and they have the swag and whatever. And it's like, okay, well, let's see what you do during the playoffs. And so this is a time for guys to step up, right? This is where you earn your money in regular season, but you become a legend in the playoffs, right? You become a legendary status when you step up. So this is where guys like, Tyler Hero could step up, Bam could step up.
Yeah.
Robinson could step up. All these guys raise your level of play, increase your point production, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how when that happens, how guys don't step up, right? And so it's like Miami's getting blown up.
Yeah. And it's funny because Caleb Martin last year kind of rose, made his fame kind of go up a little bit during the playoffs, and then this year it's like a complete opposite, right?
Well, it was easier.
Hot lightning in a bottle last year.
Well, you had Jimmy Butler, right?
Yeah.
So when everything's, it's like Pascal, right? When Kawhi was there, Pascal's looking great, right? And everybody thinks he's the man and he's going to be a number one. And when Kawhi is gone, he's not a number one. And so some guys will play better when you have a superstar there. That when shit hits the fan and a bucket needs to be made, that guy's gonna make it. And you're good, and you could play. Yeah. There's a sense of calm, and you're a little bit more at ease, knowing that we got our safety blanket in Jimmy Butler or Kyrie or AD or Booker, whoever. And so I could play a little bit more free, right? I can play a little bit more loose. I don't have to be as tight, right? Because I know these guys. At the end of the day, even if I miss my shot or I'm not playing well, these guys will carry us. And so there's a certain level of freedom in your play. But then when these superstars are gone, right, you're missing that one guy. And now what? You start pressing, right? You start pulling on your shot. You start, rushing your shot. Your feet's not set, right?
As I like to say, the pay grade raises.
There you go.
Everything changes after that.
Everything changes. So it's interesting to see when a superstar's not there, your comfort blanket's not there on the team, how guys respond, and how guys play.
And speaking of Siakam, what's interesting because you see last night they lost to the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
And outside of the first game, he's basically struggled the last three games. And these are moments, these are moments where this is where you're supposed to step up.
I thought he had a couple of 30-point games.
I'll check it out right now, but I believe the last three games, anyways. Maybe the first two he played well, but I think the last three games, including yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was game 5. I think she had struggled. I'm looking it up as I'm talking to you, but here's a moment where you're on a team where the number one best player of the team is Halliburton, but Halliburton's a passer. Yep. So here's your opportunity to be the number one scorer, and we've seen it because we lived here, we live in Toronto, so we've seen it the last 7-8 years. He gave us his hat, the opportunity to wear a hat like this, right? But as time goes along, that's only gonna last as long as that's why it's interesting to watch them lose yesterday. I'm like, you got to take advantage of those moments, man. And I remember that team is young, but Siakam knows, And now you're hearing rumors that both Lillard and Giannis might come back for Game 6.
Oh, really?
You're hearing that's the rumor. So, I mean, if that's the case, then, as I'm looking it up right now, he had, let me see here. He had 12 points yesterday, 13 points Game 4, 17 points and 9 boards Game 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But the first two, you're right. The first two, we had 36 and 37.
Okay.
But to your point, right? Like that's the thing with Miami. Jimmy Butler is gone. You know, and of course, you're forgetting about Rozier too because they made that trade for him, and that's it, man. That's your season right there. But right now, I mean, we're seeing a changing of the guard, man. As you know, and I think it's beautiful. I think we need this. You know, we've been saying this for the last couple of years. We kind of need this a new recycling of leadership of the best players in the game, how they're promoted. Who we're seeing, and you know, Golden State didn't make the playoffs this year. Phoenix just took they just took their L and they got swept.
Yeah. That's so disappointing.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them in a moment. But I guess first and foremost, let's start with the I think probably one of the biggest stories. You know, the Lakers taking an L and losing to Denver, gentleman sweep this time for the second year in a row, and you know, it makes me think of the last 6 years, man, of this LeBron Laker era. You know, how successful has this run been? And before you answer, guy, I know you got some thoughts on this, right? I just want to go over, just lay down a couple of the facts first. So the pros are, you know, if you're a Laker fan or you're a genie bus in the owner of the team, you got the most popular player of the generation in the building, you know, for 6 years. You know, he accomplished becoming the all-time leading scorer. And if my memory serves me correctly, 5 of the top 6 scorers in NBA history all wore a Lakers uniform, except for Jordan, right? So that's actually pretty big that another one was able to do that. And then, you know, that's him, Kareem, Magic. Not Magic, sorry. Him, Kareem, Karl Malone, Kobe, and Wilt Chamberlain, right?
Yep.
And then you're the first player to get 40,000 points in a Lakers uniform, which is also big. And he won a championship. The cons are he's played 3 of the last 4 play-in tournaments, even though they won all their games and, you know, they're 3-0 in the play-in. You completely missed the playoffs twice. You've only made it out of the first round twice. The Lakers finished higher than a 4th seed once. And the chip that you won, which a lot of people, including myself, call a bubble chip, you know, because of COVID, it completely took the oomph out of the celebratory phase, you know, the celebrations in LA. No parade, no citywide parties. Even the ring ceremony, there was no fans. Yeah. Right. So as much as you can hang that banner, like you couldn't really celebrate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that said, what are your thoughts?
I'm not gonna crucify LeBron. Like the man what? So if he's going on this December, he'll be 40.
40, yeah.
So he's with the Lakers for 6 years. So what, 33? He was with the Lakers, right? He's about 33, 34. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's at the tail end of his career. And so I know for me, here's the thing. Here's the argument that I was making with LeBron. Because I would say it was always, let's see what he does in the West, right? Because when he was in the East, when it was, you know, the East wasn't that strong, right? He's making 10 NBA finals, right? Or 8 or 9, whatever it was in a row.
Right.
And people are marveling at that. And people are like, oh my God, like that's so amazing. I'm like, but who's he beating? What super team was he going through in the East? What team was as stacked as his team or better than his team? And he's taking these nobodies and beating them.
Name a rival from that time.
I look at it this way. Give me a top 5 player other than LeBron that was in the East when LeBron was in the East. There wasn't any. Give me a top 10. They're all in the West.
Yeah. The only one was Derrick Rose. And I mean, that was for like.
And the reason why I bring up top 5 is because everything I've heard is based on with the NBA is if you have a top 5 guy, you're going at least to the conference finals, right? Or at least to the semifinals, finals, maybe NBA champ if you have a top 5 guy, right? So all these teams that he was beating up on the East, there's no top 5 guy. So now he comes to the West. It's a little bit harder. And but granted, things have shifted a little bit. The East is a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
The West is still tough. So I knew he was going to have a hard time coming to the West because the West is no joke. There's a lot of great players.
Yeah.
In the West, a lot of the top
historically, it's always been
strong. Top 5, top 10 guys are in the West. So I'm not gonna, dump on him like, he's not this, he's not. He is what I always thought he is. He's a great player. He's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
To do what he's done is, you have to be great. Honestly, I think I'm surprised. He if you look at what they've done compared to other teams, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
They made, he went again playing last year to the conference finals, right? So it's all about.
Which I not to cut you off, but I actually like that run. To be honest with you,
yeah,
because I liked how they played.
Yeah, so for me, his stands. I always argue with his stands, his fans. I'm like, obviously the finals is the finals is what's going to count. He played well, but he is what he is to. He is what I always thought LeBron is. Like, if you ever want to end the GOAT debate, it just really comes down to mentality. If you just really want to simplify it and no long talking, it comes down to mentality, right? It comes down to having the mental fortitude and just that willingness to will your team to win. And that's what Kobe and Jordan, they do, right? Like I remember watching the Phoenix playoff one time where they're playing the Phoenix Suns. And there's like a game where Jordan was the only one that scored. And even when he was off, the bench wasn't doing anything, right? But you look at these guys' playoff points average on his teams is what Jordan's done. Like, they're not averaging a lot, but somehow Jordan willed his team to win. And I knew that's something LeBron lacked consistently, right? Like, they'll win a chip and then everybody exhales and that's good. Whereas Jordan and Kobe, he stayed on their teammates to make sure we're winning every year. It's not just win one and then we're good, right? And LeBron was he'll win one with the team, maybe two, and then he's gone somewhere else.
Right.
And
so what's crazy with Jordan too is like you talking about those stats. Like Pippen, there were some years he didn't get 20.
Exactly.
Forget that. Exactly. Like as great as Pippen was at times, like you could single team him.
Yeah.
It's a difference when your teammate you're playing with a teammate that's constantly getting double teamed.
Exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah, them going, I think they weren't going to go every year. Mr. Glass AD was always, sometimes just hurts. So you need that second. You always need that second, your Robin, that second superstar to help you out. So I think, LeBron did as much as he could.
Yeah.
To me, he's never going to be. It's Jordan, Kobe, and then I think I have LeBron 7th on the top 10 somewhere. So,
piss people off in here. It's all good though.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, it's the mentality, bro. Like, you cannot be the GOAT and have a top. Like, Anthony Davis is a top 5 guy. When healthy, he's a top 5 guy in the league, bro. And you're not winning a chip with. You give Michael Jordan or Kobe a top 5 guy? Come on, man. They're running chips off year in and year out, bro. So, and they're making their role players step up. Like, they're not. Right. As much as these guys talk about how Michael Jordan was, they won because they were afraid of Jordan and they played, right? They're more afraid of disappointing Jordan than guys that they were going up against. And I think that's how Michael won it. And Kobe was the same way. So, you give Jordan a top 5 guy at 38, 33, right? 31, the last chip at 35. So, you give Kobe a top 5 guy like AD, a big guy like AD, come on. So
give Jordan say Jordan came back after Jordan never retired the second time. He played that lockout season.
Yeah.
Give him Tim Duncan.
Come on, man. Bro, David Stern wouldn't let Kobe play with Chris Paul because he was just like, it wouldn't have been fair. And that time Chris Paul was balling like a top 10 guy. So, you take it for what it is. LeBron, he had AD. They want to, it's AD's fault why LeBron didn't win. It's never LeBron's fault, and if he does win, it's all LeBron. Like, really? Are you serious right now? Like, AD could average 30, but it was all LeBron, right? So
which he did. He averaged 30 and 15 basically at this series, right?
it's too bad. But it is what it is. It's the change. LeBron, he's old, man. It's time for him to go. He doesn't want to. The EPO and the anabolic steroids are still not working. It's allowed him to come this far. Hey, listen. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Until I see a lawsuit against Chael Sonnen, hey, if a guy is saying that and it's directly attacking your longevity, people like Chael Sonnen, he says a lot of stuff. I'm like, bro, he's been saying this, and this is going towards the essence of who you are, your longevity, and it makes sense. I'm like, because everybody's like, how's this guy not hurt? I'm like, oh, that makes sense. An EPO, but anyways, you can only do so much. He still lost a step. His Jay's getting better. His Jay's getting more consistent, but he still lost a step. And I was looking at his numbers. He had like less than one offensive rebound a game. Average about 6 defensive rebounds. So, 7 rebounds a game, 27 points in the 5 games this year. That's not bad, right?
Yeah,
about 11 assists. So, LeBron hooped, AD hooped, but it's not the time, man. The time has passed, right?
And Denver's just better. Like it's just like it's funny because last year I remember having this argument with people, and we're talking about like when they met up in the conference finals. And people are like, man, I don't know, man. Lakers, man, they might do this. And I remember I was one of the only ones that was like, I think Denver's going to win it in 5. Yep. I'm like, and to me, I remember the biggest thing last year. I was saying that like people are going to look at AD and the Joker matchup and be like, oh well, AD is going to get him because he's lighter, he's faster, he moves better, and he's going to tire out the Joker. And I'm like, it's going to be the other way around.
Yep.
He's going to tire out AD, not the other way around, because he doesn't really get tired. He plays at his own pace, and he's like 40 pounds heavier. So, and AD gets hurt. So do the math. It's not going to work out well. You know what I mean? And then the other players are ready. Like Porter and them guys are ready.
But
Gordon was ready.
He's in shape.
Yeah, he's in shape. He may not look it, but he's in shape.
He's in shape. So,
yeah. He's used to, and the thing is training and doing all that in that elevated air, 5,280 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
It's an advantage, you know? So it's an advantage. So it's funny. Like, I guess, for me, I kind of look at LeBron's run like, if you want to keep it like a Hollywood theme, I kind of look at it like one of those blockbuster movies that made like a lot of money. Some people liked it, but then there was some people that crapped all over it. You know what I mean? And there was no universal one answer to be like, okay, like, so for example, to throw like it's almost like a Fast and Furious series. Like it made a ton of money. It was successful. You know what I mean? But you got people that couldn't stand that. And there's some people who love it and will watch it again.
Yeah.
Or like even like the Marvel movies. Like, when we watched Infinity War and Endgame and even like the first Avengers or the first Black Panther, those movies were standout movies. You rarely find people who will say anything bad about it, right? But like Ultron, it was all right. It was good. Wakanda Forever, it was all right. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I see it. I see that at that second tier. Like it was, so you can't argue with the success, you know what I mean, of it, because it kept the Lakers relevant. No matter what position they were in the standings, it kept them relevant. Lord knows they're on sports shows literally every single day, even when they're out. They're still talking about them 3-4 shows an hour, segments an hour, and they're not even in the playoffs. So it tells you the relevancy of and the power of what LeBron could do. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm just saying like it's fair to question it. You know what I mean? Even though it's a blockbuster and even though it made money with success, you can still question it. So I guess that's the way I see it. It's like it was successful, but if people think it sucked or it was overrated, you can see their point.
Yeah, I think when you're saying that you're at GOAT status and you're the greatest of all time, the expectations are high. Then you're going to deliver because that's what GOATs do, right? Mm-hmm. You had AD with you, so and you're the one that's GM LeBron, right? You're shipping guys in and out. I don't know why you win a bubble chip and you win a chip and you get rid of guys that help you win a chip, right?
Yeah, I thought that was odd. They were like when you watch them. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And you kept Tucker, Taylor Horton, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you get rid of those guys. You win it. Like, you always run it back. That's just, you win it. The guys that you win with, you don't change anything because you won. Yeah. So you run it back and then see what happens. They change.
And it's funny because that year, if you remember correctly, like they got hurt. I think AD got hurt and he missed like the rest of the playoffs. So that's why they pretty much lost. But like going into that playoffs, like everybody pretty much thought that LA could probably at least go to the finals. Yeah. You know what I mean? So to your point, right? So, and then after that, they traded for Westbrook and kind of blew up the team. And, you know, now you're panicking and you now basically like most of your first round picks are gone, you know, so it is what it is. But like I said, it's just I would say it's like one of those blockbusters. Like it's successful, but it's fair to question it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now speaking of Phoenix, right? When you look at KD, and we can mix this Phoenix question and KD together, but I'm kind of looking at KD a little bit because I'm like the last 5 years since he left Golden State, like for you, does it change the perception of his career versus the first 12 years before he left Golden State? So, because to me as a hooper and a ball fan, in terms of individual brilliance, no, it doesn't change that for me.
No,
you know, not at all. But I think
to me, he just falls into the category of he won his chips. He won 2 chips. He's good. Like his, it was hard to win before. He gets on the team with other superstars. It was easy. He won. He has his 2 chips. And now he's just like, there's no sense of, he doesn't, he's like, I'm gonna try it this way. Oh, it doesn't work out, I'm gonna try this. It's trying to go against the grain, right? He's trying to do something, he's trying to do it his way, right? I'm gonna build it this way. Oh, it doesn't work? Okay, great. I'm gonna go, because you already, you know, it's in a way, it's like how smart, I already won 2 chips, I'm good. So let me leave and go to Brooklyn, right? Was it Brooklyn? It was Brooklyn after Golden State, correct?
Brooklyn first, yeah.
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 That didn't work out. Let me leave Brooklyn and go now. Now where am I? Phoenix? Like,
yep.
So, you know, this is not working out. Like, he tried to bring Kyrie over, then he tried to bring James Harden over. He tried to build it his way, right? And, you know, what doesn't make sense is, again, and people bring this up all the time, he left OKC because they're playing a certain way. He goes to Golden State with his ball movement. There's a lot of ISO with OKC, just the way there's not a lot of ball movement. Goes to Golden State, there's ball movement, you win.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Then you find some reason to get mad at Steve Kerr. He's not using me correctly. So now you go back to ISO basketball. That hasn't been working. So you go back to that. And it hasn't worked in Brooklyn. And it's not working in Phoenix. So you know, it's like, I think the way I look at KD and what I'm taking from it is he's good. He has 2 rings. He doesn't really care what people think. Doesn't care where they put him in his legacy.
I don't know about that. You don't think he cares? I think part of the reason why he left Golden State is I think he has a little bit of those rabbit ears. I'm not saying that was fully the reason why, of course, because I understood the move too. Because it's Curry's town, right? Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. It's Curry's town.
And then why not try to duplicate what you did in Golden State? Why not try to, instead of going back to the same kind of ball that you're playing at OKC that wasn't winning, and that's what you've been doing at Brooklyn and Phoenix, ISO ball. Mm-hmm. Why not go back to duplicating the ball, player movement and ball movement, pass, cut, right, read, you know, like basically how basketball was played in the NBA in the early years, right? Pass, cut, less dribbling, more cutting, more body movement, right? Because people say it's European basketball, but I'm like, if you know the history of basketball, it's actually that's how the NBA was before. It was a lot of right pass, cut, right, and it just went away from that. Obviously, when Jordan took over, and the ball would stop with him, and he's surveying the defense.
Yeah,
but it continued overseas, and so that's why people say European, or you know, Popovich calls it 0.5 summertime. I'll never forget that because he brought that mentality back, and where the ball hits your hands, it's a quick decision, and that's sort of how the Golden State plays. Golden State reminds me when I was playing college basketball, D1. The ball. We were back then, and that was 97 when I was playing D1. You were told the ball hit your hand, it has to move, right? Like, you only got a split second with the ball. You don't have time to one, because especially in college, defense is just going to be on you. There's no illegal defense, so you think the ball guys are going to be up in your shit. So you got to get that ball and make a quick decision. So it's interesting how KD didn't try to replicate the system because obviously wherever he's going, he has power now to sit down with the coaching staff and say, listen, let's try to do what was successful in programs like San Antonio and Golden State and other programs, other teams where, the ball's not sticking. It's quick ball movement, hit the big, dribble handoff, go screens, popping, diving, screen away, right? A lot of cuts, split action, whatever you want to call it, whatever terminology you want to use. But just goes back to ISO basketball and is losing. It's like, to me, it's just like, bro, that makes no sense, right? Like, you're doing the same thing before you were winning, and then you did a different style of playing. You won. Now you're going back to what you're doing before. And
to your point, yeah, no, and to your point, O'Neal, like it's. I think him following that super team stacking, that kind of stuff played into that fact, right? And I feel like that's kind of hurt his career because, and it's crazy as much as it's hurt his career. You can always argue too that if his foot wasn't on the 3-point line, and 3 years ago, this whole league might be different. Maybe everybody would still be doing the super team stuff, right? So it's like he was like that close to like changing the alter reality, right? And now it's like you look at the league in the last 5 years, it wasn't a super team, from the Raptors all the way down to to now, basically, right? Because it's not going to be a super team when is it this year either, right? So to me, I'm like, it hurt his career in some sense because I feel like he's like a basketball nomad now. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of like traveling from place to place, and to me, it's like I think he's too good to be a basketball nomad. You know what I mean? Because that has nothing to do with his individual brilliance. Because he's a brilliant basketball player. You know what I mean? Like even at this stage, what is he? 17 years in the league. And nobody can stop him still, and nobody's going to stop him next year unless he gets hurt. But just the way the team is constructed, like I thought when he went to Phoenix, it was like, okay, you still have a future, you still have a point guard, and you have a big or whatever. You try to fill those spots there, but then like him, Beal, and Booker right now, they're going to cost $160 million next year, $150-something million next year. The cap is like $160. Who are you getting? And then you got no picks. You know what I'm saying? So for the next, I think until 2031. So at this point, it's like you're basically wasting your time now. And most likely, if a trade happens again, just to get some assets back, it's probably going to be him.
Yep.
Right. So and you're really not going to have control of where you go this time. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I don't want to see that for him. You know what I mean? Like he's too great of a player for him to be doing this, but it's kind of the reality that he's chosen, right? Like he's such a great player, man. But man,
it's like when you, as you're saying it, traveling nomad. I started thinking about like the Lotus Hobo.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Or
exactly what I was thinking.
Or even better, Jack Reacher. You watch Jack Reacher?
No, but I know the concept though.
Yeah, so he comes in, just mash up people, does his thing, and then doesn't stick around. Just jumps on the Greyhound bus, moves on to the next city, goes up there.
Like David Banner.
Yeah, just like that's what I'm thinking. That's what came to mind, like Lotus Hobo or Jack Reacher. Just go in, saves the day, or does whatever, doesn't stick around, just keep on moving. So
keep on moving.
Yeah, that's what it looks like he's gonna be doing, bro. Like you're gonna stick in Phoenix now. Where are you gonna go? Where is he going next?
No,
and
exactly.
But is any as a GM, do you haven't seen what happened to Brooklyn? Like you remember before Kyrie and KD got there, like how Brooklyn had a nice culture.
Oh, they were nice. I enjoyed watching them play.
Yeah, they're nice young guys, and they took a chance. Like you got to go for it, right? It's KD and generation. Like these guys are gonna be Hall of Famers. So, Sean Marks goes for it, doesn't work out. Okay. So now KD goes to Phoenix, doesn't work out. And they got rid of, you know what I mean? Like their mortgage, their
future, on everything.
So now, are you that GM that's going to do it again? Like seeing that it didn't work out twice for KD at 2 other places, are you going to be like, oh, because you know Phoenix is going to ask for a lot of stuff for him.
Yeah, and they're going to want first-round picks again.
Yeah, he's coming off, Achilles injury. He's getting older. So now you're going to mortgage, the house to get KD, and then, you get the same thing where you don't win. He's mercurial. He doesn't seem happy.
No.
So you don't know what's going on with him.
He was complaining about his role apparently this season.
Yeah, now you're complaining about your role. Like, bro, you're the superstar, man. You go tell them, this is what I want to do, and they'll do it. So there's always seemed to be an excuse. It's the coach's fault. I don't like the role he has me in. But what role do you want, KD? How do you want him to play? He has me standing in the corner. But what do you want to do? You want to bring up the ball? How do you want to be used? So I don't know. I think he's stuck in Phoenix because if you're a GM that gambles on KD again, you're like, bro.
Yeah, it's craziness. You can't do it.
Yeah, because Phoenix is definitely going to ask for a lot, bro.
They have to.
Yeah,
they have to, and I think the owner put them in a terrible position, right? So because he wanted that instant mix now, and it's like, that's what I said. I'll say it again. I hated that Beal trade like the moment it happened. I hated it so much because I'm like, he just capped out. He basically just capped out. And he got no point guard.
There you go.
You can't even get a decent, you can't even draft for one. Like, who you get? Like, what point guard are you going to get? I mean, honestly, really and truly, right now, probably the best point guard they're probably going to be able to get based on salary experience, probably Chris Paul. And do you want him starting?
Chris, but he needs to retire. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just. I
forgot that guy was actually on Golden State. I forgot it.
Was that?
I forgot that Chris Paul was on Golden State. He needs to retire.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to stop now.
When you're not a game changer anymore, affecting the game, you got to go, bro. You just retire.
But with the teams that are still available right now, though, man, I mean, there's been a lot of good series. Some of them finished faster than I thought. But what's your favorite series so far? You can mention the ones that ended too, if you like, or the ones that are still around.
I like the Mavericks Clippers series.
That's your favorite one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking. That's the one I wanted to watch. Like, I'm like, if I can miss the games from the other series, but I definitely want to watch the Clippers.
They'll be on just now too, as we're talking. They'll be on.
And the New York, just for New York, just to see, because New York hasn't achieved that in a while. I would say Dallas Mavericks first, Dallas Mavericks and Clippers first, and then New York, Philly second. So,
yeah, it's hard to rank, but I enjoyed the Laker-Denver series, even though it went 5, because I like watching Denver play. Like, they're just really good. I was really looking forward to the Phoenix and Timberwolves series until I realized that, again, Phoenix has no point guard. So, it's probably going to go 5 or 6. I mean, I'm not surprised they got swept. You know what I mean? But, like, they got no point guard. So, you're going against Michael Conley. Michael Conley's getting up there in age too, but he's steady.
In an office pool, I actually picked Phoenix because I'm thinking, KD, firepower, Devin
That's
Booker.
what everybody thought too.
Yeah, he's trying to be legendary like Kobe, firepower, and then Bradley Beal. He could kind of, he has KD and Booker, so he could just come in there.
Mm-hmm.
I had them winning.
You had them winning? Oh, no, you didn't do that. No.
I really did. These guys will step up. Just the firepower alone is just too much. Remember, they swept Minnesota in the regular season too.
Right. So I thought it was going to be a great series. I did, because my biggest thing was I was looking forward to watching Anthony Edwards versus Booker, right? Not realizing that he was really aiming for Durant. He had him in the scope, and he put a red down on all of them. And as far as the 2-guard like rankings go, he definitely knocked down Booker, down a peg. And I don't mean like a shove in the back. I mean, like he pushed him straight down the stairs, head over heels down the stairs.
In a
like,
chair.
Crash into the wall.
In a chair, sitting in a chair, taped to a chair. Go down the stairs. Yeah, it was.
While laughing.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. He's doing it with a smile. That's the worst.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
it pisses you off.
Yeah. That's why I used to play. That's why I look, I always play with a smile. Because it just, that's the best way to get in guys' heads, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's this guy smiling about? While you're killing them. So, yeah, he's just having fun and just killing these guys with a big smile on his face and enjoying it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch, man. But my series is the Knicks and Philly. I mean, to your point, like New York, watching New York, and I'm not a New York Knicks fan, but you know when they say the NBA says how, or people say in the NBA, like when the Lakers are good and the Knicks are good and Boston's good, it's great for the league, especially if it could all happen at the same time, right? Yeah. And then this Knicks team, honestly, is probably the most exciting Knicks team to me. And people like to throw Carmelo in there. I like Carmelo, but my favorite Knicks team to watch was the few months where Amari was leading the Knicks and he was kind of putting it back on the map before they traded their whole future for Carmelo. Yeah, like that was fun. But I thought about this last night. The 99 lockout Knicks with the 8 seed that went to the finals with Sprewell and Allen Houston and Camby and all those guys. Like that team was a fun. Like you couldn't help but root for the team. It was very similar to these guys, especially Sprewell, because Sprewell's coming off that literal choke job, of Carlissimo, and and everybody was like, "What are you gonna do?" And he came in the playoffs and man, he was getting at everybody.
Yeah,
like
I'm not a big Knicks guy. I know they're great for the league. I know New York is a great market, but I don't have any fond memories of the Knicks. So I'll let you run the Knicks. I could care less about the Knicks. Yeah.
But I love that series. I love that series overall, though. Just it's an old, like it's two storied franchises. Yep. Proximity, they're really close. Both cities have its own swag. You got Embiid, like who's, people love him, people hate him. You got Brunson and it's just all like basically what's happening now in this series is what you expected. I'm not surprised by anything by what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest thing, and I guess we'll get to him in a moment, is Maxey, man. I didn't, he's basically made his fame right now. Like how he's playing so far. Like he's probably been consistently the best player in the series.
You know what's so great about that? Like I guess it's based on my algorithm because I do, skill refinement training. So his trainer, Tim Martin, for the past 3 or 4 years, I've been getting his posts, and he been, when Maxey was in high school, then going to Kentucky. So I saw the progression of Maxey. And it just, and Tim Martin is one of the trainers I like to follow because when I listen to him train or when I listen to him talk, right? It's sometimes it's like stuff I'm saying is like just keep the game simple, right?
Yeah.
The way he breaks it down, or the way he teaches and breaks it down for Maxey, and it's not that hard. You develop the shot, so they work on Maxey's shot, so Jay's consistent.
Yeah.
And Maxey's fast. He's so lightning quick. So when you can shoot the basketball, you can't be guarded because if a guy presses up and you're not fast, it's a blow by. Yeah. If they sit off of you, then you just raise up and so now they can't do anything. And then he's adding the mid-range. He still needs to go left. And look at all his penetration to the basket. He's just going right.
Going right. Yeah.
So,
he's so fast, nobody can stop it right now.
But he's so fast. So did I know he was going to be like this? No. Because I didn't see enough games where you saw that killer instinct and just a guy taking over. But it's great to see because –
and he earned his keep too.
Yeah, and when they say the NBA is about opportunity and confidence, right? So, after once once his third, fourth year, his confidence is there. The game slowed down for him, so he doesn't. He just picks his spots, blow by, slows, boom, change the speed, going slow to fast. So it's great to see. It's great to see. that they have a young superstar who's humble. And he's not James Harden, right? He's not a great defender, but he's definitely not a narcissist like James Harden. And
not a great defender yet, because you can see the potential where he could be a good defender at least.
Yeah. So there's that, and he's working. Him and Joel are still. You can see they're coming along, figuring out their chemistry, and once they really have that down, they're going to be dangerous, man. They're going to be, they're going to be a really tough team.
Man, Joel, man. I'm the flag bearer of the Embiid bandwagon, but sometimes, man, he makes sure to take that flag and just throw it over in a ditch, man.
Bro,
like
I've said this before. Like, you watch how a guy plays and you listen to what they're saying. And when last year, kind of in the playoffs, he had 15 points.
Yeah.
So in a closeout game, James Harden had 9. Like, these guys, I'm like, and again, the reason is because we had guys like Kobe and Jordan, right? And Iverson. So these guys that just hate to lose. And you know what that mentality is like. And so when you see
Duncan. Throw the Duncan in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you see these guys with 15, like, they didn't leave it all hang. They didn't let it all hang out there. And then his attitude was like, my spot is the free throw line. I'm like, what do you mean the spot is your free throw line? Your spot should be by the basket. For the simple fact that nobody could guard you down there. Nobody. So why not just catch it down there, give them a bump and just finish, dunk, whatever. But no, you want to go to the 3-point line because you want to look pretty and you want to shoot it. So basically, he doesn't do what is necessary to win. He's not a winner. Winners do whatever is necessary to win. He'll have some big games here and there, but ultimately, I don't think he's a winner because winners will sacrifice. Winners will figure it out and do whatever is necessary to win. And Joel Embiid wants to stay and shoot jump shots and whatever.
And O'Neal, I would argue with you, but I can't even. What can I say? I can't even argue with you.
Do what is necessary to win, bro. Stop going to you're working harder when you're on the perimeter and you're a guy that's injury prone. Like, you're supposed to use logic, bro. Go close to the basket.
That's the shit that drives me insane. Because I'm like, you have a knee injury. You tore your meniscus. Why are you taking 4 extra steps to get to the basket? Just go down the block. I don't understand it. It drives me crazy when I watch him play. Like, I don't understand it. And I'm like, and then you're watching him and he's like, he's holding his knee, and I'm like, dude, you're trying to take guys off the dribble almost every possession. Just go to the block. I don't understand this. Shouldn't you make the game easier not even just for the playoffs, but just for your legs?
He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Yeah. He thinks about how he looks. He doesn't care about winning, bro. You can tell by the action, the way he approaches the game. Like, why are you stepping to the free throw line and the 3-point line? Start close to the basket. Barbie, it's one thing if you got a rebound and you're trailing the play, right? It's one thing if you got a rebound and you're trailing the play, sure. Go to you pick and pop, sure. Trailing, coming in a trail 3, fantastic.
Yeah.
But you're taking all these extra steps, trying to make all these moves, these cuts to cross over to look pretty. You're worried about looking pretty, bro. Sometimes, winning is grimy, it's dirty. It's not. It's going to be boring. Just catching the ball, bodying guys and finishing. It's not always going to be. And again, he wants to do it his way. So his way is, I'm going to prove that I can shoot jump shots and threes.
I can have a handle and stuff, but
and win, huh?
And that you can that I have a handle and all that stuff, and it's like no, it drives me crazy. Like, it does. The logic of it makes no. I don't get it. I don't get it from him. I don't get it from a coaching staff perspective. I don't get any of it.
He's a superstar, so you got to capitulate to the superstar, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but you could be like, at some point, he's gonna have to figure it out. Like, just start close to the basket, kill him in the post, and then work your get some from top of the key, maybe free throw, whatever. Great, but don't start from outside in. Start from inside out. So, that's why I like Jokic.
Yeah,
that's why I like Jokic.
Yeah.
Jokic is just, he will
do what it takes.
Do whatever it takes to win. He's a winner. Winners do whatever it takes to win. You just have to watch how they approach the game. Their actions will tell you exactly if they're a winner or not. You don't have to wonder what's in their head. Their actions will show you. Embiid is not a winner. He doesn't play like a winner. He's not willing to sacrifice. He's not willing to just do what is easy and grimy. He doesn't look pretty, or what's ugly. I'd say grimy, but what doesn't look pretty. But he's unstoppable. He's an unstoppable force inside. He's 7'2", almost 3. He's an unstoppable force inside.
Yeah,
he wants to show everybody that he's nimble. Take guys off the dribble and come on, man, forget that.
He did that all regular season. He did that all regular season. And honestly, just to add to that, you're saying, I know you're making the point of saying that at some point he'll figure it out. Here's the scary part: is year 10. Yeah, and I know, mind you, he hasn't played he's been injured a lot, but it's year 10. At some point, you got to be okay, shouldn't we have this figured out by now?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I mean, even though you got to capitulate to a superstar, at some point, somebody on the coaching staff, somebody has to be okay, I understand you want to do these things, but you're injured a lot. Here's what can help us. Here's what can help you and prolong your career. Because Hartenstein, and I like those guys as defensive guys, Mitchell Robinson, but right now, they're supposed to be food right now.
Yeah, easy.
That's supposed to be a meal. That's honestly, right now, even with his injury, even with the Bell's palsy that he's suffering through, he should be averaging 30, 37 right now. Easy. Yeah. Easy. Easy. Between the free throws, easy. It drives, honestly, O'Neal, it drives me insane watching them play. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think that, and as much as I love Brunson and all these guys, to me, I think Philly they should be up 3-2. Embiid's the best player on the floor. It shouldn't be Brunson. I love Brunson, but I love Maxey too, but
yep, I totally agree.
Come on, and I got a few quick just questions before we wrap up here, so I'll just go a little quicker here. But when you hear the saying, regular season is where you make your name, playoffs is where you make your fame. Even though it's the first round, who are the guys in your eyes right now? I know it's the first round, but who are the guys in your eyes right now that's making their fame? Probably most of the guys we mentioned, right?
Yeah, Shea, and those are names. Those are guys that are jumping out. Do you know that Booker had 50 points in that loss?
I know.
People don't talk about that.
Didn't feel like it, though.
Yeah, the guy had 49 points, bro.
It didn't feel like it.
Yeah. Jamal, Shea, Maxey, and the young boys. The young boys are, Michael Porter Jr. is playing well.
He is playing well. Especially considering, a third brother got arrested.
Wait, there's 4 of them?
There's a third brother.
Wait. No.
He's a younger one. He's a younger brother.
I know Gambling Jack.
Yeah.
Jonte Gambling Jack. He got I know there's a DUI with the second. Are you talking the DUI with that one?
And he's going to jail for the next 6 years? Yeah. No, I'm not talking about him either.
There's another one.
There's another one that just got hit with a second DUI. Yeah. You
can't pick your family, man. You can't pick your family, bro.
Yeah, that's
so apparently he's the black sheep.
He's like, you're too good for us. Get out of here. Leave your pocketbook. Leave your wallet. But yeah, it's that's unfortunate. But he's playing well under the circumstances, and maybe those situations might make you play well too, right?
Yeah, forget
it. A lot of stress.
Force you to lock in and just forget about all that foolishness that's going on.
Yeah. 100%. I'm gonna throw Brunson in that on that list too, because
Brunson.
Man, O'Neal, again, I'll say it again. I said this in the last podcast that I did. I was wrong about Brunson, man. When he was coming out of Dallas, I was wrong. I'll happily admit I was dead wrong. I did not see any of this coming.
You know what? I didn't have an opinion on Brunson either way because, I thought he was a solid guy. So I remember people talk about it. I'm like, I didn't have an opinion either way. I was like, oh yeah. I didn't know he was like this either.
No.
But I didn't think he was a bad player. And
he was good.
You see that obviously again, usage rate, right? Like some guys, the way they train and the way they approach the game, they need the basketball in their hands a lot. right? Like Brunson needs to be dribbling the ball a lot to get in his rhythm, to find his game. So that wasn't happening with Luka.
No.
So, you can see, so it makes sense that, now that he's out of Luka's shadow and his usage rate has gone up and he's the main guy and he's handling the rock, he gets in his rhythm, he gets to his spots, he's able to do his thing, set up the play. So I didn't know he was nice like this. He has a killer instinct.
And that heart, man.
Yeah. And obviously he's just, he's learned a lot from his dad and how to play the game and how to be a scorer and how to.
He was a tough player too, and he was Temple, right?
Yeah. So, get to his spots, get separation, get a shot off. He has a nice mechanics, nice release on his shot. So it's hard to block his shot because what I love about his shot's coming right through here. So it's hard to block once you get that separate. Once you get it here, it's gone. So it's nice. It's hard to block that, right? And so, and he's smart, right? A lot of players don't know this, but the closer you get to the basket, the higher your release. So instead of having your shot here, you go to pull up, you get up really high right away, and then you get the ball in your hand. So it's hard for big guys to stop. So even just little things like that when I watch him, even little things like that when I watch him shoot, I'm like, because he understands how to score, and so I never, like I said, I never really had an opinion either way. So it's great to see. It's like going to a team they didn't have anybody. Obviously the fans didn't really like RJ. Julius Randle is a loose ball. So like this guy, he's not the man. He's a hit and miss here and there. So I think Brunson knew that he could come in and take over, and so it's good for him. Good to see.
And truthfully, that was actually kind of happening from last year.
Yeah.
If you really want to, even in the playoffs last year, like people are like, "Yo, Randall's all NBA." I'm like, true, respect to his regular season, but I'm like, but this is Brunson's team. I was saying that even last year. I'm like, this is Brunson's team. This isn't Randall's team. This is Brunson's team, and it's further evidence now because he went up another level. Yeah. So the last question, man, before we wrap up, I won't even hit you with the who you got winning it all because that's an easy question, but there's at least one series that going into the second round that we know is about to happen, which is Minnesota versus Denver. Who you got for that, man? What's the expectations coming out of that series? Because I can't wait to watch that this weekend.
I got Denver.
Okay.
I got Denver because of Jokic and Jamal. They're just like this. Yeah. They're just steady. They're gonna figure. They're too smart. Jokic alone could kill you. Jamal has proven that he's a playoff. He's a playoff performer. So when it's all said and done, Michael Porter could get hot. You have Aaron Gordon in the dunkers. Sneaky behind it.
Perfect role from on this team, though.
Yeah, so I got Denver because as the rounds go up, the stakes get higher, right? And sometimes guys start pressing. And Minnesota hasn't been here with this group. Minnesota hasn't been here yet. So Ant-Man is still young. And sometimes when you're young, you're gonna make some mistakes. Your emotions gonna get the best of you, right? You like that experience, so when to be calm. So I think I got Denver winning in 6.
It's funny. I mean, I do too. I have the exact same number. I have them winning in 6, and a lot of it is decision making, right? Between the team on the rise and the team that's at the top. It's kind of like that right now, what they look like, and I wish they weren't meeting now, but then it's hard to say because if OKC and Denver are meeting, you won't want them meeting now either, right? So it's tough. Like that West is so top of the West is so good. But they have this, even watching them play this season and even in the playoffs last year, they got this big brother, little brother dynamic. So it doesn't matter how much you be working out and, like the little brother, you're getting yourself in that elder just always has those few extra moves that you just can't account for, right? And that his old man strength, that extra little hold, whatever it is, they always got it. They could just wrestle it from you every single time, right? And I think that's what's going to happen in this series. Yeah. And you're mentioning Anthony Edwards being that he's young. I mean, they got another young player too that has trouble with like decision making. Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
I'm joking. He's in his 10th year.
That guy's emotional.
He drives. He's another one too where I'm just like, he's the X factor the whole series. And I think he's going to be the big reason why they lose. And it's funny to watch. I don't know if you caught the press conference. I think it was after the game. Actually, I think it was after the last game where Anthony Towns had a great game, and Ant-Man is basically like, man, stop fucking fouling, bro. Like, stop fucking fouling. Like, we could do this every time. You average 20. You got 28 and 10. You could do this every time if you stop fouling. And Cass like, yeah, I know. I'm like, shouldn't that conversation be the other way around?
Exactly.
Like,
and again,
to me, I thought it was a little embarrassing.
Jamal and Jokic are mature basketball players, right? They have what I call basketball maturity, right? Some people refer to it as the old man's game. Where they'll know when to slow down the pace, get calm, either Jamal or Jokic. Jokic will get the ball and he'll bring it up and he'll be, okay, this is what we're doing. Or Jamal will be like, okay. And, they have Conley, which is good, right?
Yeah.
That's why they scare me, because Conley is that veteran, that point guard that will
calm it down. Yeah,
relax. Here's what we're going to run.
Size.
Yeah, we're going to put and in this position, or we'll get the ball to Cat here. So, Conley's it's not Cat for me, it's Conley, Mike Conley, because that guy's, you show me a team with a point guard or somebody with a point guard mentality that knows how to slow the game down, control the game, orchestrate the game, and that's a team that's going to win, right? And Mike Conley could definitely do that for the Timberwolves. He can knock down the open three when he needs to. So it's going to be a tough series, but I think the guys in Denver know their roles. They bought into their roles. And, I think they're going to win.
Yeah, and shout out to Jamal Murray, man, because what I want for him in this, I can't even say this series, but I think just the rest of the playoffs is I just want him to start getting his flowers for real. And I don't mean it in the sense like he wasn't getting it last year, because obviously he had a great playoff run and they won the chip and everything else. And you can see what he did in the Lakers series, 2 buzzer beaters, basically. Like, you know what it is with him. But, like, I want, like, you remember when, like, he exploded in the bubble and he just went crazy? And it's to the point where you didn't know if it was his team or the Joker's team. And then, we were waiting for him to just reap the benefits of it. Then he blew his knee out. He had to sit out the following year. So I feel like last year was kind of like it was like that recovery, get my confidence back. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it resulted in the chip. And I feel like this year it's like, okay, now I'm going to really show you, like, I want to get back to that bubble Murray. You know what I mean? Like, because, like, and I think he kind of, I wouldn't say he struggled in the Lakers series, but, it wasn't like as dominant as he was last year when they played him in the Western Conference Finals. But I just want the accolades now to start matching up. You know what I mean? Like, he's because right now he's the best player in the league that hasn't made the All-Star team, which is, I mean, at this point now, being in the All-Star game is like, it's almost like a paperweight. It means nothing at this point now. But with that said, what comes with it. The extra money comes with that too. Yeah. So I want him to basically start reaping the benefits for real. Like, that's a guy that really deserves it. And we're talking about Shea, we're talking about all these guys, and Shea deserves it too. We've already spoken about Shea a lot. I'm sure he's got more things to show in the playoffs, but I just want him to be on that list too. When you're talking about all those guys, I want his name to be there too. He deserves it.
He does. I just want him to be healthy. I love his mentality.
Yeah.
I love he has a killer mentality. He wants to win. He wants to be the best. I just want him to be healthy. And that's what I want for Jamal. I know if he's healthy, you want to see what his mindset is. You want to see what his approach is. And so if he's healthy, I think he'll definitely get what he deserves as far as recognition and maybe still making some teams. I think that's the big thing, just staying healthy. Because he was hurt this year, right? Yeah. And he had hamstring. So if he can just stay healthy, he needs to tell Roger, his dad, he needs to drink some more chicken foot soup and some peanut porridge.
Yam and banana.
some goat head soup, some soup with some nourishment.
Fish broth.
Some fish tea, some nourishment, some nutriment.
They gotta send a dread to Denver, man.
Yeah.
With a corn soup pot. The pot, that's this big.
Some yam and banana with chocho and okra. Solid, man. You guys getting urgent too easy. So give him some food. Need some food, some provisions. Yeah.
But I want that for him too. But then lastly, like, man, him and Shea are Team Canada, boy. Woo.
Listen.
Woo. Woo.
And bring in Andrew Nemhart.
Yep.
That's what I want on the team. Bro, I love that kid. That kid is Jason Kidd.
He's good, man.
You bring him in, it's a wrap. Because you literally move Jamal. You literally move Jamal and Shea to the 2 as scorers. You'll see what happens when Andrew has that ball. He's going to be picking the defense apart, bro.
Yes, brother. Listen, man, thank you for hopping on the latest episode, man, of the Ave, man. And we'll come back again before the playoffs is out for sure.
Yeah. You say that all the time. I don't hear from you for like 2 years.
Shut up, man. You'll be back. You'll be back.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
I appreciate you, sir.
Anytime.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for checking out the latest edition of the Ave Podcast. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to O'Neal Kamaka for hopping on this latest episode. Man, this playoffs has been very interesting so far, man. This podcast was recorded on Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, so this was obviously before the end of the Knicks-Sixers series. Game 6 was played last night, and that was an amazing game. That's probably one of the best series I've seen in a very long time. Wow, that was incredible. That was incredible, man. And you know, shout out to what we were saying earlier, but Jalen Brunson, man, wow. Man, he has made his fame already. He has made his fame. And I can honestly say right now, I am rooting for the Knicks to go to the finals right now. I am all in on this bandwagon. How do you not love to watch this team play? They're so exciting. And the hypeness that they bring with it. The only thing, because yes, I'm seeing all the Knicks veterans and legends that they keep bringing over to the home games. The only thing that would set New York on fire is if they sneak in Charles Oakley. I don't see that happening, but can you imagine if Dolan and Oakley squash their beef and they put him courtside at like the conference finals? I can't imagine the energy that crowd would bring if they saw Oakley back in Madison Square. That would be crazy. I mean, I think the percentage of that happening is small, but man, if I'm the Knicks front office, I'm trying to do everything I can to get those two in the room and work that out, because that would be amazing for him to be courtside at one of those games, sitting with Starks and Larry Johnson and, you know, Marcus Camby and Latrell Sprewell and Bernard King. I mean, that would be incredible. But be that as it may, the Sixers is out. They got a lot of work to do in this offseason. And so does Milwaukee, to be honest, man. This is a different looking playoffs. I don't think we would have predicted the playoffs to look this way, but you know, to the point that we're making the last couple of podcasts, man, it's a new era, it's a new day, it's a new era's time right now. They're here. They're not even waiting. They're not waiting anymore. They're here, and the NBA is going to look very different in the next few years, which I think is great. It's time. It's time. But with that said, once again, thank you for listening to the Ave Podcast. Check out my catalog at southshirave.com. Once again, for the emphasis, that's southshirave.com. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons anywhere from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Alexa. Just make sure you go in and check everything out. All right, Google Podcasts as well. And make sure you hit all the 5 stars, please, and thank you. Hit those 5 stars like you mean it, damn it. Hit the 5 stars. And I'm still holding back my comments from this Drake Kendrick beef, but a podcast is coming on it much sooner than later. I haven't rushed to get the talking on it like everybody else has as yet, because I feel like this is not going to be going away anytime soon, and I'm just kind of letting it play out a little bit. But please believe me, I am watching. I am looking into all of it, and I'm just biding my time. But probably within the next couple of weeks, I would say I'm definitely going to air out a full pod on that one. So be clear that one will be interesting as well. All right. So until next week, New episodes on the way. The NBA playoffs is alive and brimming. So, we're going to be at it with these pods, man. So I appreciate y'all. Once again, for Anil Kamaka, this is Cal C. And you just tuned into the latest episode of the Ave Podcast right here on South Shore Ave Radio. All right, until next week. Peace. We out.